Grief is certainly something that we've all had to work with. And like everything, it has a life cycle. And sometimes it's very intense, and sometimes it's a little bit more in the background. Grief is one of those experiences that we try to defend ourselves against because it can feel so overwhelming. So there's two ways that I'd kind of like to suggest that we might work with this. One is it's very helpful to allow the feelings of grief. So the physical kind of energetic feelings in the heart or wherever you would feel that. Sometimes we feel grief in the whole body. There's often a deep sadness that comes with grief as well. And so the idea with all of those feelings and thoughts, memories of the person, if you're grieving a person, all of that to be very, very welcome and to be allowed completely as much as we can. And then to have the thoughts about that, like this shouldn't have happened, they were too young, it shouldn't have been this way, or whatever those thoughts might be, to not entertain those as much, to try and keep coming back to the feeling in the body. And, I know that's a bit of a different direction in terms of mindfulness than what we normally would do. We're just really paying attention to everything. So it's not like we're trying to shove those thoughts away. If we have thoughts like that, we're noticing them, but we're trying not to follow them down the rabbit hole. So if we're having thoughts about my nephew died 2 years ago, and when I think about him, I think about all kinds of things. A lot of really good memories and sadness that he died at 32 and his difficult life. And there's a whole context that happened in. But if I get into anger that he shouldn't have died, that the system should have taken care of him better, all of those kinds of things, that's a useful thing to look at another time perhaps. But what I'm hoping for today is more of of really being present with the feelings of it, the sadness and what we feel in our hearts. And you might not be grieving the death of a person, it might be the loss of a relationship, of a job, of some illusion. Illusions can die pretty hard too. I know I've certainly had that experience. So, whatever it is for us, let's take a few minutes now to just do a bit of relaxation and breathing, and then we'll move into the inquiry. It's very true in my experience that when we're actually attentive and welcome, or at least allow whatever feelings are here, that they don't last very long, and that we defend ourselves against them, thinking that we actually can't stand it. And then when we have the experience of allowing it and of being able to be present with it, then what happens is that they're there and they're seen and felt, and then they've kind of accomplished what they were here for in a way, I suppose. And they tend to move on. So that delicate balance of witnessing and allowing everything to be as it is and not wanting to push it away, and also not following into trains of thought about unfairness or things like that. So get yourself settled. You can certainly lie down for this. You can sit up. Whatever you do, try and find a place where you could be comfortable. And take a few deep breaths as you're getting settled. Sometimes it helps to kind of move our body around a bit too as we're getting settled, shake out our arms and legs. Do it would help you to be really comfortable. And as we begin this turning inward process, we start always with noticing what's here right now. What do you feel in your body? What are the thoughts in your mind? Grief is not a neutral subject, that's for sure. Not for any of us. So, what comes up when you've just been sitting for a few minutes listening to these words about grief? This is such a personal, close in relationship and experience. And as you're tuning into your whole body from head to toes, notice if there's any sensation or feeling that you might say, okay, I can notice that this feels like grief. There might be tears, there might be kind of a contraction or tightness, could be a sensation in the heart or anywhere in the body. We just start by noticing what is it that's here just right now as we begin. And with any mindfulness practice or inquiry, we're noticing the experience as we're having the experience. We're not noticing from a scientific distance. We're noticing right from the center of the experience. Notice the thoughts that might be present in your mind. Some of them would be maybe images of people coming through or memories. And then let's really settle in. Notice your forehead and eyebrows. Let them soften as you breathe out. The eyes can be closed or just with the gaze soft. Notice your mouth and jaw, your center of speech, the tongue, your vocal cords, throat, your sense of hearing. And notice the back of the neck, your shoulders, the large muscles of the back. Let your shoulders soften. Move back away from your ears. If you're lying down, let them really settle into the floor. Notice what that feels like to let yourself be really supported. You don't have to hold yourself in position. Exhale, let that soften. And when our physical body feels supported, notice if it would be okay to let any energetic contraction, any energetic bracing or defensiveness also soften. Take some deeper breaths and notice what that feels like through your lower rib cage at the back and the sides. Notice the front of your chest, the heart center, and the energy of the heart center. One of the common experiences with grief is a feeling of heaviness. sometimes through the chest. Notice the stomach area, the belly. Notice the breath. Notice if it's okay to let your belly really soften as you breathe out. And bring your attention as well into your legs and into your feet, your arms and your hands. And notice again what your experience is right now, particularly as it relates to grief. Are you thinking about a certain person, a certain relationship? Is it something that's very present right now? Is it a little bit further in time? Let yourself just really notice what are the thoughts that are coming through, allowing any thought that's here. And as you're looking at the thought, if it's an image or hearing it, if it's a sound, stay very connected in your body. Stay connected with your breath as well. And give yourself complete permission for this to be whatever it is. There's no gold star for doing it a particular way. We're really just looking, giving ourselves this time, noticing thoughts in the mind and what's happening in the body in response to those thoughts. Often, other emotions will come through. There might be anger, in which case you could really tune into what does that feel like in your body? What is it that feels like anger instead of sadness, for instance? Notice if whatever is happening in your experience right now, if that is welcome to be here. Not that we want it to stay or anything else, but just if it's okay with you to let it be here right now, to be experiencing this. Sometimes we have thoughts of, I can't stand this, or it's going to overwhelm me, or something like that. If that happens, just come right back into the body. Try let the thoughts just be in the background. Notice your actual experience in this very moment. Notice your breath, what's happening in your body. If there's an intention for this, it's to allow everything in, to just for this moment in time, not defend ourselves against any feelings. Stay aware of your breath, of your body, and the feelings in your body, the sensations, the energy. And then we observe the thoughts that come from the energy. Notice words, pictures, video clips, memories. And like any emotion, these have a pattern and a rhythm to them. You might be just resting in the body right now, noticing your breath, or there might be a lot of memories coming up. Honor whatever your own experience is. If something's too intense, you could always tap on it or open your eyes. And see if you can stay with the energy in your body without the words just for a few minutes. So, without even the label of sadness or heaviness or whatever is happening in your body. Rest your attention right in the center of the energy that's going on right now. Take some deeper breaths. Be aware of your whole body. Rest with your attention in the energy, looking at thoughts if they come up, and remain very aware of what's happening in your body. Notice if there's anything coming forward to that you want to bring out into the time after the inquiry, something to spend more time with, perhaps. There might be a sense of wanting to return to this. Notice your experience and see if you could allow the grief to be there and also to wash through as we come out of the practice in a moment, that we're not feeling that heaviness, that intensity. Sometimes I imagine that I'm standing under a warm waterfall. Water is coming down from the top of the head all the way down through my body. It's washing away any tightness or sadness. I'm breathing in the warmth of the sunshine, and then I'm breathing out, letting the water flow all the way through my body and out through my feet, carrying away anything that's not serving me. And then come back to resting in your own body, your own experience right now. And then when you're ready, open your eyes.